Hi, everybody. Welcome to Living to Do Married at First Sight review. At season 13, episode 9, Could It Be Love? First, I'd like to ask if you would like or subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it and thank you in advance. First, let's start off by talking about Brett and Ryan. Now, this couple is moving really slow. They're not doing as well as I would like them to be doing at this point. Brett, she's moving at a normal pace. She's having feelings for her husband. Ryan, she has warm, tingly feelings, and that's great. And she spent a lot of time with them, and it wouldn't be unreasonable that she would. Ryan, on the other hand, is not feeling a spark. He would like to feel one, but he's just not feeling a spark with Brett. And I know he's moving slow, or is he just not feeling it naturally? But one thing I do like about Ryan, that he's committed to the process and he's kind. I think that's all we can really ask for someone that we're in this process with, that they do what is asked to see if they will have sparks, if they can find love, if they can stay married. And if you can't, well, then you can't. But at least he's committed to the process and he's kind about it. They share time with competitive games. They're both competitive. I wouldn't have thought that about Brett. She seems so scared of everything, but I know Ryan is a competitive person, so I'm glad about that. Hopefully he can find a spark or something, a feeling for this girl. And I would think, I think they look like a great couple, and I really would hope that they can make it work. I mean, I honestly don't have much to say about them, other than Ryan did say he had past relationships where he took too long to be vulnerable with his partner. They were walking away, and I think that's when he started to feel feelings for them. I hope that doesn't happen with Brett. Or maybe he just doesn't know how to love, which, I guess a big old Texan guy and that lifestyle, and maybe a hardened personality, because he does look like that in his eyes. He looks like he doesn't have any feelings or anything. I don't know. Maybe he just needs to get in touch with his feelings. He's very talkative and communicative with his friends there about that he's not feeling a spark. So he's talking about it. Hopefully he can get there. I don't have much to say about them. That's just pretty much all that I can say about Ryan. Okay, next let's talk about Rachel and Jose. Rachel and Jose. Oh, now, Jose is quite the character. He has an issue with the way Rachel squeezes out her toothpaste. I mean, he's so pressed by that. Just who cares? Leave it alone. You're too anal about too many things. They do get along. They seem like a happy couple. I'm really happy for them. They went on a little outing with goat yoga, which looked fun. I would like to do that. I don't know what it really does for you, but it looks fun just to be out there with the little goats. I don't know what it does for them to stand on your back, what's happening to you when they're doing it. But whatever, that's like fun. They had little tiny goats. I think they were like 2 weeks old. Jose was petting a really cute goat. Looks like he was petting him to sleep, a blue-eyed goat. And Rachel said she had dad vibes. Looks like he would be a good dad. I think he would be a good dad. He was patient with that goat. I think maybe if he has kids, that he will develop a little bit more patience. And you're going to have to if you're going to deal with kids. But he just seemed very calm. It seemed very natural with him petting the goat. They talked about what they need from one another, and Rachel says that she needs for him to be a good listener. And Jose, I don't know if he was kidding or not, that he used to be a good listener before marriage. Rachel says she needs a good communication, eye contact, and he needs to be listening. And even as she's telling him that, I don't even think he's listening. He says he recommends that she tells him twice to listen. I mean, I think he only listens to his own voice, and he talks a lot. They talk about previous relationships, and Jose had a previous relationship that lasted 4 years. And what broke them up is that she had kids. I'm sure she had kids on day one, but maybe he thought he could work it out. And because of her kids, he called it quits with her. One thing that bothers Jose about Rachel is that she cheated in a previous relationship. And he says, once a cheater, always a cheater. Rachel says, when he asked her, how am I going to trust you when you go out with the girls and you're away from home and away from him? And Rachel says, you're just going to have to trust me. She mentioned that when she cheated, the next day she told her boyfriend. They worked it out. It was year 2 of their relationship, and that relationship ended up lasting 8 years. So if she does cheat on you, Jose, I'm sure she'll just tell you about it. Towards the end of the show, Rachel admitted that she told Jose that she loved him first. I guess maybe she might be the first one out of the whole group that has said, I love you to their partner. And where no one could be surprised about that. Those two were all over each other. I honestly thought it would have been Jose before her. But hey, he said it back, and hopefully they're in love. Okay, let's see who's next. Okay, Gil and Mirla. They're next. They seem like they're getting along, which I think Gil can get along with anybody. So it seems like Mirla is really getting along with Gil. She seems comfortable with them. They had a short scene where they show Mirla eating off of Gil's spoon. Looks like she was eating some ice cream off his spoon. And so you gotta feel somewhat comfortable to do that with somebody. I wouldn't even do that even after 20 years of marriage. So she seems comfortable with him. She's smiling. Her attitude seems okay with them. She does do her little jabs here and there. She noticed that he was eating the cookies. She replenished the cookie supply, and he's eating them. Too much of them, in fact, I think she believes. And yeah, Gil looks like he likes to eat. Those cookies are going right to his thighs. They kid around, and Gil mentions her fake cookies, and she says they're keto cookies. I wonder if those taste good. But that's how she probably can get into those designer clothes. Gil asks what it would take for her to feel like she's falling in love, or what does she need from somebody when she falls in love with them. And she says that she has to be able to stand them, that somebody you can want to see every day, and that they're actionable. I wonder what she really meant by that. Is she saying something about Gil? And with that word, Gil says that his coordinates are in the right direction for love. I honestly think that I don't know why he would want Mirla. I don't know what he sees in her. I think he's committed to the process, and he's also kind, and I appreciate that in him. It's just her that needs to step up, because I don't see what would attract him to her. She doesn't do anything really. But he caters to her. He's very nice to her. He offers foot massage. In fact, he broke out the Value lotion for her foot massage. And she seemed, I don't know, I guess she wouldn't turn it down, though she didn't rate him very high on the foot massage. She only gave him a 5. He wasn't he wasn't zoning in on those pressure points. I guess it's Mirla's idea to go out to a dinner spot at some place she's been before. And Gil asked what made you come to this particular restaurant, and she said that she saw a vlogger or somebody, and they were at that restaurant and they had a drink, a Chanel number 6, and so she just had to go. So that's why she went, and she had that drink. I guess she liked it. Now they're there at dinner, and she orders the Chanel number 6 drink. I mean, how bougie can you get? It has to be Chanel number 6. And they bring out the glass, and on the glass it's taped on there, Chanel number 6. Now I don't know if they did that for the purposes of the show, or if that drink normally comes out like that, where you have to put the Chanel number 6 sticker on the glass while you're drinking. That doesn't even look elegant, but whatever. They discuss that Gil is not a big fan of eating out. I think that's mainly due to his budget, because he's a fan of eating. You can tell that. They discuss how often Mirla wants to go out to dinner. And she says like brunch every week and dinner twice a month. Twice a month is too much for Gil. It's too much for his budget. That dinner, they were talking about what they wanted from each other. And Gil says he wanted to feel wanted. And that's the thing. I don't think Mirla has made Gil feel wanted at all. And what she wants mainly from him, she says, is a brunch partner. I'm not, that is so cold. Sometimes it's not a dry humor. It's just, I think it's just cold. And that, again, doesn't make Gil feel wanted. And so he's going to go on another day, try again with her, because he's committed to the process. I hope he doesn't get hurt along the way, because I don't think she's given up much. I don't see her effort in this at all. I guess she's just there, but she's counterproductive in the process, if you ask me. She needs to move forward some steps in the right direction to decision day to see if this is a lasting relationship. Or maybe she's made it up in her mind that I'm just going to ride this out and see what happens, and just wait for decision day and be committed to her contract, because she's all business. Okay, moving right along to Zach and Michaela. They show their scene where Zach is coming into their apartment. Looks like he's getting a drink, and he's sitting down to talk to Michaela. And he sits down, and he puts his arm on the armrest and his hand halfway over his face. And that just shows me he's not open to the situation right now. He still feels frustrated. He's upset. And you can tell in Zach, his body, all that anxiety, energy all over in him. So they start talking about the blow up that they had previously. And right before they start talking about it, they do cut to a confessional where Zach mentions that he was trying to talk to Michaela. She gave him a number where she told him that she prefers that he text her. So, that's that passive aggressive crap, I guess, that she's not going to speak to him, hear his voice, him hearing hers, that will just take a text. That sounds like Michaela. It sounds like her. She has a lot of growing up to do. In their talk, Zach, he has this analogy of how the relationship was was going so far. He uses this reading a book under a tree, and a bee comes over and he swats the bee. And it comes over again, swats the bee, again swats the bee, and he wonders if he should just move. So the bees are Michaela and her blow-ups. So he wonders if he should sit there and take it or walk away from the bee, because you're going to get stung. I don't know how she really feels about that analogy. They cut away and she's making all these looks, but I don't know if it's just editing. She might have been having those facial responses to something else that was said. But that's how he sees her right then, is a bee. A pesky little unnecessary bee that is stinging him. And Zach is sensitive. But they talk about what he's feeling, what she felt. And at the end of the conversation, Zach says he's willing to do anything in his power to make this relationship work. And Michaela promises to listen and think before she acts. And she needs to do that in all situations, because I'm sure this is not the only time that she's blown up for little things and just not being an adult or a lady. She really needs to listen more and think before you act. Both had admitted that they had not been in love before. Zach had a checklist, and he needed everything to be checked on the list before he knew he could fall in love with somebody. And Michaela asked, "What's on that list?" So the list has looks, ambition, intelligence, adaptable, trustworthy, honest, loyal, and mature. And since she blew up the way she did, she was acting very immature. That box wasn't getting checked with Zach, and he didn't think the relationship was going to last. The list to Michaela seemed stringent. I mean, to have everything checked, maybe, but some of those things you should be that way anyway. You should be trustworthy, loyal, things like that, and mature. And she just doesn't act mature. She can play the part for a few minutes, it seems, but she's not always mature. They talk about falling in love, and Michaela said that she felt that she was falling in love weeks ago, when they first met, but her true feelings right now, she feels guarded because of the fight. And actually, that's all because of her. I mean, his reaction was to leave, but I don't know why she feels so guarded. She's the one that blew up. He's the one that should feel guarded. Michaela says, or actually Zach asked what he can do better to make the relationship work. And Michaela says to talk to her, to communicate. So they ended up with a positive talk. Zach seems happier now with the progress. They had some questions from the experts. They went on the rooftop and they were asking one another the questions. They had a good time. They both agreed that they need time like this to do things like that, to be together. And of course you do. I just hope that there's nothing that's going to make her act out of character. We'll have to see. But so far, so good. They do have a date night and they cook together. They cook some seafood. They have a chef that is zooming in to help them. And it's real cute. Michaela is very heavy-handed, he said, on the seasoning. And she just kept on sprinkling in that skillet. And when they made their plate, the food was too spicy for Zach. But Michaela didn't seem like it mind at all. He had to go to the refrigerator and get some water. It was so hot. So that was a little cute moment that they had. I hope they continue to have little cute moments. Actually, mainly for Zach's sake. I think he deserves it. But if she can just be just a human being, someone he could live with for the next couple of weeks and continue with this process, that's all we can ask of her. If she could do just the bare minimum to keep this going. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Okay, there was a random meetup between Mirla and Rachel. Uh, Rachel says her friends met Jose and they like Jose, that he's a good guy. During their conversation, Rachel notices a ring on Mirla's finger. It's like a pink plastic ring. And Mirla explains that Gil gave her the ring. And it was so she could wear it while she was at the gym so hers didn't get dirty. And Rachel says, "Oh, he notices the little things." And I think, yeah, that he does notice the little things. And Mirla should appreciate somebody noticing the little things about her. They're noticing you. They're taking time to learn you, and that's what you should do for Gil. And Mirla stays as true Mirla, and she mentions she wants a Cartier. I don't know. They also had a group barbecue at Jose's house. Jose invited everybody over to his home, not their apartment, but his home. And it's Michaela's big time debut in front of everybody. She's there. It's day 20 of their marriage. And they have a little talks with a lot of the individuals outside. And one of them was Mirla. Mirla's still bitchy, says she doesn't go to barbecues and things like that, and that she will not be coming back. And I just thought, that is so rude. Who would ever like this girl? It's just her rudeness. It's just unnecessary, the things that come out of her mouth. During their barbecue, they get together and they talk about little things like they ask Gil if he has had his kiss yet, and he says no, they still haven't had his kiss, and they've been married 20 days, but they seem comfortable. Gil's hands all over Mirla's lap, so she's comfortable in letting him do that. Bao and Johnny share that they actually consummated their marriage, and they had an adult conversation about it. It wasn't overdone. It was just matter of fact, and it was just pleasant. It doesn't need to be all that. I think if Mirla gives Gil a little peck on the lips, then all that conversation would just be over and done with. They mentioned that no one had said they love you. I know I mentioned that Rachel had said it, but I guess at the time of the barbecue, she had not said it, though she thought she would be first into saying it. And Ryan jokes about, he thinks that Bao would be first to say I love you, that she would have a formula and a spreadsheet to help her figure that out. And that means that Jose most likely, not Jose, but Johnny most likely has been talking about Jose and her spreadsheets, that Ryan would remember that and make a joke about it. They kind of go off into little groups. There's three little groups, and three of them are in the kitchen. I believe it was Rachel, Bao, and Michaela. And Rachel says that you notice that Jose talks a lot. And he does. He talks a lot. We also see, I think it was Jose, Brett, Mirla, and Gil were in Jose's bedroom talking, the three of them. And what I found a little strange was that Mirla was very comfortable. She stretched her whole body out on his bed. Just sit on the bed, Mirla. But she was comfortable enough to do that. Bao has a little nickname for Jose and Rachel, and her little nickname for them is Rose. That's cute. Outside is Ryan, Zach, and Johnny. They talk about the blow up. Or Zach talks about the blow up that he had with Michaela, that they're getting along a little better, that he's not into those knee jerk reactions that she has. Johnny says that he knows that they were matched on core principles. He feels like he's the problem in the relationship. More on Bao and Johnny later. Ryan shares with the guys he's not feeling a spark for Brett, and he wants more than just good enough. So, I know he's working towards it. Hopefully he can get there. But I'm glad he's opening up. He's opening up to Brett. He's opening up to his friends. So Brett tells her group that she doesn't know how Ryan feels about her. She thinks he needs to do more to create a feeling for her. I don't know what he needs to do. Maybe date night. I don't know what they need. Maybe some counseling to help him try to get there. I don't know if you can really force somebody, but he's game. He's all in. He wants this. It's just not there. And I think he just probably needs to tap into himself a little bit more since he's had a past of not being there as well. All right, our last couple, Bao and Johnny. In their first scene, they're cooking. Bao's cooking for Johnny. And Johnny likes Bao's cooking, which is good. She's going to be your wife. You should enjoy her cooking and vice versa. They have dinner. They have a talk about their relationship over dinner. And it's kind of a tough talk. Johnny says it's hard having to fight for someone you're not in love with, to try to make it work. Typically, you fight for the love. You fight because you're in love, but they're not there yet. And it's a real struggle for him to be with Bao. He likes her, but there's some things that, he doesn't like about her. She says that sometimes when she talks to him, she feels that he's a little hot-headed. And I never thought that before, but in their conversation, he seemed to get a little upset. He's all, just talk to me. And I had never really seen that towards her so much. And she is talking. I don't think she's shutting down in any way. He feels that she's judgy. They talk about the phrase that he used with her, that he wanted to duck and run, that comment. And she says that doesn't make her feel good. And, I thought about this. He is opening up. He's telling you exactly how he feels. I think he is also even careful with his words. I don't think he's mean-spirited when speaking about his feelings towards her, to her. Though duck and run, someone wants to get away from you, that doesn't feel good, especially when you don't want them to run, you want to get closer. I think Bao, I don't know if she has tough skin, but sometimes it just appears that she has tough skin. She might be hurting really a lot in the inside, but she takes it pretty good. But she does say that does hurt, and she should communicate that does hurt her when she hears that, when he speaks about her that way. Johnny, like anybody else, wants an emotional connection, and he's not finding that with her. He's looking for the spark, and I think he has a great attitude because he says he will be there every day until he finds it. And what more can you ask? He's participating in this process, and that's all he can do until he does feel something, if he ever does. They do have a drinking game to answer some of the experts' questions, and they want to know, one of the questions that Johnny asks is how does she know she'll be in love, or what does she need to be in love? And she needs unconditional love. She wants someone to love her and all her flaws, the snoring, the bathing after the gym is questionable, but she wants someone who's going to love her for her. And she wants to have common ground, and she feels lucky to have Johnny. I don't know, one of the questions was about sex, or they get in the conversation about sex, and And how did he learn about sex is what Bao asks Johnny. And he says he learned it from Hinte. And I learned something new. That's a cartoon pornographic cartoon where he learned about sex. I swear you learn something new every day. I think in the drinking game, it was my impression that Johnny just wanted to get Bao drunk. And they go off into their room and they're kissing, and I hear Bao laughing, and I just wanted to yell, "Stop laughing, Bao. He doesn't like that. It's a turnoff." Then they go, and I guess they consummated their relationship then. And Bao seems really happy the next time we see her. She sets up a date night for Johnny and everything he likes: bar games, beer, and chicken. And he seems to have a good time. They were being competitive of shooting the darts, shooting the dartboard with some, I guess, Nerf gun things. And they seemed like they had a good time. And Bao seemed, she seemed gratified. I think she was very happy with Johnny. They were kissing. They were both happy. And I think they were just connecting, with one another. They consummated their marriage. And I think for a couple of days, it was really good for them. Then soon after, Johnny gets a date night, or he plans a date night. And their date night is artwork, painting. I guess he says he's redeeming himself, or Bao says he's redeeming himself. It's a redemption date for when he stood her up to go to the museum years prior. And they're painting, and Bao is getting really anal about the color. She messed up. It really, really bothers Johnny. So they made it seem in the editing. He seemed to tense up when she was just really focused on correcting her mistakes and not relaxing and enjoying the moment. And that's what he really wants. He wants her to relax. And I think maybe if they can talk that through, and when she starts to get like that, maybe they can have a code word. Just scream out, "Relax, Bao. Just let go." It's not it's not necessary to be that focus on certain things that they're just not, they don't need that much focus. Just have fun with it. Just have fun with the painting. You see the end painting, and it was like he had half the painting and she had the other half. I didn't know that. And they connect together to make one. I thought that was a great idea. It was a great date to do. That's a great idea for others to do. You could do it in your home and make a painting. I never did that. The wine tasting and painting, that seems like fun. It was a great idea. But she needs just to relax and have a little fun. So that's about it for everybody. Hopefully it will be more detailed, or more exciting things will come in the future episodes. I was really expecting this episode to be better than last week, and it was, but it still didn't give me a lot of stuff. I'm happy that Johnny and Bao consummated their relationship. I'm glad Rachel and Jose, or they said "I love you" to each other. So they're coming along, and we'll have to see. Maybe it's just a slow move, a slow burn for these people. So that's about all I have for you this week on Married at First Sight. I'll be back next week with another review. I thank you all for listening. I got to get going because I got living to do. Good night. Oh, wait.